This video explains how you can fix this error in React. Too many re-renders. React limits the number of renders to prevent an infinite loop. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of this infinite loop and why too many re-renders are happening. So basically, first try to understand the problem, and then getting the solution is very simple. So what is happening here is that a render method is getting called infinitely, and the reason why that happens is because the state is getting changed infinitely, and when the state of the component changes, the render method gets called. Then render method is again changing the state in the render method itself, and then state is changing, again render method is getting called, again render method is changing the state. So this loop is going on and on and on. Render method, change the state, render method, change the state. So that is what is happening. So I will tell you exactly why it is happening in my code. So if I go to the code, over there you can see in this component, this is a function component, and this is the render method here. So basically in this written block, I'm trying to render this button, and on click event handler is there, and what is happening here is that we are calling this click add method or the function once we click on that button, add button. But the problem here is that this parenthesis just after the function name, what is happening here is that as this component is getting rendered, this method or the function is getting called because of this parenthesis. So I'll just highlight that. Over there you can see there is a parenthesis, and that is causing the problem. So it comes here, execution comes here, this click add method is getting called. Generally it should be called once we click on the button, but what is happening here is that because of this mistake, because of this opening and closing parenthesis, that function or the method is getting called right away, even without user clicking on that button. And on the click add method, let us see what is happening. So as I said before, the state is getting changed. So the method, that click add method, is over here, and as you can see over there, there is a set count which is basically is being used to change the state. And what happens when the state is changed? When the state is changed for the component, the render method will get called once again, and that is what is happening here. Again the execution is coming at this point, and what is happening here, again this click add method is getting called, again this cursor is going here, and then this loop is getting generated, and that's why it is saying infinite loop. The render method, too many re-renders are happening. So this is the loop, that is what is happening, and in your code base as well, the same thing, similar thing is happening. So state is changing, render method is getting called, and in the render method you will find the culprit, you will find the mistake there. You must have done the mistake in the render method. That is where you are changing, you are calling some method out of the function that is getting called automatically without user intervention, and that's when the state is changing. And if you are not able to find that culprit method or the code block, it must be hidden in some child components as well. So in the child component as well, you might have done the mistake, which is getting where the function is getting called, which is changing the state. So here it is very simple component. There is just one component, that is main component we are calling it, but in your code there might be some children components, and in over there might be a code where the function is getting called and that function is changing the state, and then this loop is never ending. So to fix this, all you have to do is remove this parenthesis